Chapter 1758, The Beauty in Humanity. Chapter 1758, The Beauty in Humanity. The cultivators in the heavenly mandate realm, the Buddhist monks from the mountain realm, the Yuanyang clan and Shao clan from the central emperor realm, and the Dou tribe from the Ziwei realm were already here. Now, Shangxiao Divine Palace came to lend a hand as well. They made an incredibly formidable alliance. Even the menacing army coming all the way from the Hidden Land realm became hesitant about launching their attack. The army from the Hidden Land realm was comprised of not only cultivators from the native forces in the Hidden Land realm, but also people from the outer realms. They even had cultivators from the Dark Court, led by the Lord of the Underworld. However, as domineering as they were, they couldn't gain the upper hand in the current situation. If the Lord of the Underworld didn't fight in the battle himself, they might even be at a disadvantage. It was extremely difficult for them to snatch the girl from the Heavenly Mandate Academy under such circumstances. No one could estimate how many people would lose their lives here if a battle broke out. People from various places who had come to watch the battle were shocked and amazed that the Heavenly Mandate Academy was able to assemble such a strong defense lineup that even included the Shangxiao Divine Palace. The Shangxiao Divine Palace was the holy land of the higher heavens realm. Many people in the 9 realms believed that 3 holy places were the best at imparting knowledge and training cultivators: the Tianshan Academy in the Central Emperor realm, the Shangxiao Divine Palace in the higher heavens realm, and the Heavenly Mandate Academy in the Heavenly Mandate realm. Although the Heavenly Mandate Academy was rising to prominence and had almost surpassed the Shangxiao Divine Palace, no one could deny the great power the Shangxiao Divine Palace held. Such a grand occasion for the Heavenly Mandate Academy and the Shangxiao Divine Palace to join hands and fight against the enemy side by side was unprecedented. The cultivators in the Heavenly Mandate City Right were witnessing history now. Some people even envisioned how the Heavenly Mandate Academy and the Shangxiao Divine Palace could merge and become the predominant holy land in the 3,000 realms of the Great Path. They would outstrip the Tianshan Academy altogether. Of course, it was only a fanciful notion that would never happen in reality. The Shangxiao Divine Palace only sent reinforcement here to support the Heavenly Mandate Academy for this particular time. The two sides reached a stalemate. While the Dark Army marched here all the way from the Hidden Land realm, they didn't want to die in vain. They couldn't achieve their goal if they blindly jumped into the fight without having some confidence in victory. Two menacing forces were locked in a confrontation. The entire Heavenly Mandate City was engulfed in the terrifying might of the Great Path. Qingyao stood quietly inside of the Heavenly Mandate Academy. Yaya was next to her, holding her hand. Except for Qingyao, Futian sent away everyone who had not reached the Renhuang Plain. He wouldn't give her up to the enemy, and he was willing to fight for her. But he could never compromise the people he sent away by hiding Qingyao among them, on the off chance that he lost the battle. He would do everything in his power to keep his promise to Qingyao. But Qingyao had to face her destiny if he was defeated in the end. Although Qingyao was still a young girl, she understood the risk Futian was taking. She was deeply moved but remained composed and tearless. Her brother Yi and so many people hovering in the air were willing to fight for her. She brought bad lucks to everyone and was despised and shunned everywhere until she met her brother and sister, who protected her fiercely. Nianyu played with her and regarded her as the best friend. Grandpa Xian also took care of her. Everyone in the Heavenly Mandate realm treated her exceptionally well. She never experienced such kindness in her life. Even today, she saw all of those good people from other forces who came here willingly and were ready to risk their lives for a girl like her who had a cursed fate. Then what about her? What should she do? Did she really want to implicate her brother, sister, and everyone else? Could she really stand by idly and selfishly at the expense of other people's lives? She lived through a lifetime of darkness and never felt as warm and loved as today. It was because tens of thousands of extraordinary and kind people stood up for her, a cursed girl. All of a sudden, she grinned in silence. She didn't cry. Instead, she cracked a blissful smile. "Sister," said Qingyao. She raised her head and looked at Yaya. Yaya heard her voice and looked back. She grasped Qingyao's hand firmly and reassured her, "Don't be nervous. This will be over soon." Qingyao shook her head and said with a smile, "Sister, I'm not nervous. Let me go with them." Surprised, Yaya gripped Qingyao's hand even harder and said, "Qingyao, your brother Yi and other people will protect you. No one can take you away against your will. Look, even more people are coming to help our side. They will win this fight." Yet Qingyao was still shaking her head. "Sister, I believe that we will win. But I have made my decision. I will go with those people from the Hidden Land realm." "Why?" Yaya asked, staring at the girl. "Because you're all so kind to me." Qingyao smiled radiantly. She continued, "No one has ever been nice to me before. Now that I get to know all of you, I will certainly feel terrible if bad things happen to you because of me. I don't want to see any of you being hurt. Not today, not ever." Yaya was astounded. Looking at the smile on Qingyao's face, she was overwhelmed by mixed feelings. She felt touched and sorrowful at the same time. She surely understood that this matter had put tremendous pressure on both Yi Futian and the Heavenly Mandate Academy. However, Yi Futian obviously wouldn't hand Qingyao over without a fight. This was about holding one's ground and keeping one's words. It was meaningless and unnecessary to argue about right and wrong or to put a price on the level of sacrifice. None of them would give in to the enemy and put people they cared about in danger. To fight to the death was different from utter abandonment. Nevertheless, Qingyao wanted to leave even when Yi Futian and the Heavenly Mandate Academy had already summoned enough people to turn the tables. "Qingyao, take a look, those people don't dare to provoke us now." Yaya was going to speak more, yet was interrupted by Qingyao, who said, "Sister, they came here and committed such acts because of me. They won't simply give up in the future. People here in the academy will definitely be harmed if I stay here." Yaya looked at the girl and was at a loss for words. She couldn't refute because she knew Qingyao was right. These people in the Hidden Land realm sent a large army at high costs all the way to the Heavenly Mandate Academy. Even if they failed or retreated this time, who could tell what they would do in the future to achieve their objective? Would they give up? Absolutely not. The threat would always lurk in the shadows as long as Qingyao stayed in the Heavenly Mandate Academy. "Sister, Brother Yi told me that everyone has the right to determine their own fates. Isn't that right?" Qingyao smiled broadly, said, "Right now, I have made my decision." Qingyao learned this from Yi Futian, and she was telling it to Yaya now. "If you don't want me to go, I will leave on my own. Would you grab me against my will? You would make yourself a bad person if you did that," Qingyao chuckled. As a 12-year-old girl, she seemed to be exceptionally mature and rational. Yaya's eyes sparkled as she looked at Qingyao's innocent face. Despite Qingyao's average appearance, she seemed truly beautiful to Yaya. It was the beauty of a gentle and kind spirit. Yaya smiled back at Qingyao. She knew that Qingyao had grown up now. "Qingyao, have you really decided?" Yaya asked. "Brother Yi will definitely help you as long as you want to stay." "Sister, this is the only choice I have ever made. I will never regret it," Qingyao replied. Yaya looked at her earnest face, said, "I support you." "Thank you, sister." Qingyao beamed with joy. All of her fear and anxiety evaporated. She felt incredibly relaxed at the moment. The two armies were still engaged in a standoff in the air. No one dared to act recklessly. The Dark Army seemed to be waiting for order while the Lord of the Underworld was drinking wine. At the time, Yaya held Qingyao's hand and slowly rose into the air. They moved toward Yi Futian, who was standing on the battlefield. No one noticed Qingyao and Yaya's conversation in front of the academy since the atmosphere was so intense. "Yaya, why do you bring Qingyao here?" Yi Futian saw them and asked. "Brother, I'm leaving," Qingyao said to Yi Futian with a smile. Her eyes were filled with deep affection. The past few days in the academy were the happiest time she had in her entire life. "You're leaving?" Yi Futian looked at Qingyao, surprised. Qingyao decided to leave, Yaya said to Yi Futian. Yi Futian stared at them in confusion. "I agree with Qingyao about her decision." Yaya saw Yi Futian's expression and added, "Yaya, she is still a little girl. What does she know?" Lord Taixian walked toward them and said to Yaya and Qingyao, "Grandpa Xian, if only you were my real grandpa," Qingyao smiled and replied. Lord Taishin was puzzled and said to her, "But I am your real grandpa." Ha! Qingyao chuckled again when she heard Lord Taishuan's reply. The laughter then turned into a muffled sob, not because she was sad, but because she was moved by their care for her. "Grandpa Xian, just like Nian Yu, I want to play with you affectionately too. But I was not brave enough. Now that I'm leaving, can I give you a hug?" Qingyao asked, smiling and crying at the same time. "Of course you can. But who said you have to leave?" Lord Taishin stepped forward and held the girl in his arms. Qingyao hugged Lord Taishin tightly, then she mimicked Nianyu and pulled Lord Taishuan's beard. Lord Taishin looked at Qingyao's smile and could feel that she was a different girl now. "Have you really made up your mind?" Lord Taishin suddenly asked. "Yes," Qingyao nodded. "Maybe I won't see Grandpa Xian again in the future, but I surely will miss you a lot." After that, she turned around and opened her arms at Yi Futian, who was standing to the side. Yi Futian picked up the girl and looked at her. Qingyao used her hand to cover Yi Futian's mouth, said, "Brother, can you let me choose my own life, please? I made this choice on my own. I won't regret this, ever." Yi Futian took a look at the girl, then glanced at Yaya and Lord Taishin. Same as Lord Taishin, he sensed how she had changed. As if she grew up overnight. "Brother, let Qingyao go," said Yaya. Her voice was strangled even though her face was lit up with a smile. "Qingyao, we won't lose today," Lord Taishin told Qingyao. "I believe in you, Grandpa Xian. But I really thought this through. Grandpa Xian, brother, sister, Nianyu, and Sister Luan, I want you all to take care of yourselves," Qingyao said gently. She shifted her eyes to Yi Futian again, held his shoulders, leaned forward, and kissed him on his forehead. "Thank you, brother." Qingyao finally expressed her gratitude in a soft, angelic voice. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 1759 The Declaration of War. Chapter 1759 The Declaration of War. Lord of the Underworld was still chatting with Mei Ting in the distance. Right now, he also gazed at the direction of the Heavenly Mandate Academy and said, "This is the right choice. You were destined to belong to the darkness. This is not the right place for you. Come with me and I will take you home." "Who is she?" Mei Ting asked Lord of the Underworld. Lord of the Underworld was one of the lords in the Dark Court. He led a large army himself and marched here to grab a little girl. Even though Mei Ting wasn't in the loop before, he now understood that this girl was nothing but ordinary. The Devil General from the Devil World is also interested? Lord of the Underworld laughed and said to Mei Ting. Mei Ting didn't reply. He certainly wouldn't be intrigued if it was only an average girl. Nonetheless, it was Yi Futian's identity that really piqued his curiosity. This girl just happened to be under Yi Futian's protection right now. Mei Ting made a connection between the girl and Yu Sheng. He wondered if this could all be the arrangement of fate. He surely didn't believe in fate. But perhaps even Lord of the Underworld, one of the lords in the Dark Court, didn't know the identity of the man who was protecting the girl. Nor would he know who Yu Sheng was. If he did, he would certainly attach more importance to his encounter with this girl. This was a remarkable meeting. Nevertheless, it was apparent that no one had realized that yet. Yi Futian looked intently at the girl standing in front of him and asked in a gentle voice, "Have you really made up your mind?" "Yes." Qingyao nodded. "All right." Yi Futian smiled with relief. Just like what he told Qingyao before, everyone deserved to determine their destiny. No one else had the right to intrude. He took care of Qingyao because he pitied her for being hunted by cultivators in the Renhuang Plain. However, Qingyao had metamorphosed into a mature person. She gained a deeper understanding of everything and was well aware of the consequences of her choice. Such being the case, he respected her will. He also knew that the enemy didn't come to capture Qingyao to hurt her. He saw what happened to Qingyao in the past through Shen Luoshue's divine consciousness and realized that Qingyao probably was born with extraordinary gifts. The enemy didn't need to dispatch so many people if they only wanted to harm her or kill her. He also understood that Qingyao already chose to confront and accept what might happen to her in the future. Therefore, It was not his place to stop her in the name of protection only to satisfy his ego. She had already found herself. Thus, he agreed with her choice. Besides, he was willing to believe that Qingyao would never forget the goodwill and kindness in her heart that convinced her to make this choice, no matter what happened to her in the future. She can't. All of a sudden, someone opposed to the idea spoke out. It was Master Pudu, a Buddhist cultivator from the mountain realm and one of the leaders on the side of the Heavenly Mandate Academy. He stared at the girl with a particularly grim face. He heard what the Lord of the Underworld just said and had more confidence in his own judgment. He would rather start a war over this girl than letting her go. Since Yi Futian didn't allow him to kill the girl, the only choice left was to keep her in the Heavenly Mandate Academy. There was no way he would let the Lord of the Underworld take her away. Yi Futian raised his head and looked at Master Pudu, who continued, "We can never send her to the hands of the Lord of the Underworld." To everyone's surprise, the brilliant light of Buddha became menacing. A murderous thought entered the monk's mind. "Master, you lost your mind." Lord Taishin said, "I believe you have good intentions, but the Buddhist doctrine emphasizes mercy and benevolence. How can it be compatible with the Buddhist doctrine if you harm people for a crime they haven't committed?" "My lord, this is different." Master Pudu spoke loudly. "I am willing to fight. But I can't sit idly and watch her being taken away. If she made mistakes in the future, I would willingly give up everything I have to correct them," Lord Taishin said. He looked at the Buddhist cultivators standing next to Master Pudu and asked, "What does the abbot think?" The abbot of Tianxian Temple put his palms together in front of the chest. He chanted the name of Buddha and said, "Everyone has the potential for good. I would like to believe that her goodwill can beat her doomed fate, and I have faith in Lord Taishin and Benefactor Yi." Master Pudu turned to the abbot and said, "Pudu, everything in the world is predestined. Let's wait and see how it goes in the future," said the abbot. Pudu heard him and finally stopped arguing. He put his palms together and chanted the Buddhist scriptures with his eyes closed. He looked solemn and dignified as the light of Buddha radiating from his body. Even though Yi Futian was a little upset about Pudu's malicious intent, he didn't hold any grudge against him because he knew that Master Pudu was worrying about the future of the world and the sufferings of the people. "Let me send you off." Yi Futian picked up Qingyao's hand and stepped forward. Lord Taishin walked next to them. Yi Futian held Qingyao's hand and walked out of the Heavenly Mandate Academy. A master cultivator from the opposing side also strode toward them to come and take Qingyao. They soon met each other. Rather than handing over Qingyao right away, he made a demand, "I want someone." "Who do you want?" the guy from the opposing side asked. "Lian Qingyi from the clan of the God of Ghost," said Yi Futian. Lian Qingyi was standing in the matrix of the clan of the God of Ghost far away. She was stunned. What did Yi Futian mean? What did he want her for? The master cultivator who met with Yi Futian hesitated and glanced back, unsure of how to proceed. Lian Qingyi was the goddess of the clan of the God of Ghost, not a mere commoner. "Give her to him," the Lord of the Underworld instructed in a calm voice. They came here with only one goal in mind, to take Qingyao away. He certainly wouldn't give Yi Futian chances to negotiate if he had an absolute advantage over him. However, they were in an unfavorable position and only got the girl because she wanted to leave with them herself. Therefore, how could he refuse to trade Lian Qingyi with Yi Futian? He would agree to Yi Futian's terms straight off even if Yi Futian added a few more people to his list of requests. The leader of the clan of the God of Ghost narrowed his eyes and turned back to look at the Lord of the Underworld. Lord of the Underworld glanced at him and said, "Didn't you hear me?" "Yes." The leader of the clan of the God of Ghost nodded. He looked at Lian Qingyi in silence. His expression took Lian Qingyi aback. She was abandoned. The Dark Court finally arrived at the Hidden Land realm again and provided them an excellent opportunity to break free from the Hidden Land realm and advance to the Dark Court. Comparing with the Hidden Land realm, where they were constantly hampered and restrained, the Dark Court seemed like a true paradise for them. That was why she volunteered to come to the Heavenly Mandate Academy last time. She intended to get Qingyao back in order to earn a merit badge. However, Yi Futian didn't hand over Qingyao to her. Why on earth did Yi Futian ask for her now? Chills went down Lien Qingyi's spine as she saw the obliging faces of the master cultivators on her side. She felt as though she was abandoned by the world. This was distinctly different from what happened with Yi Qingyao. Yi Qingyao came out of her own volition. Before that, the Heavenly Mandate Academy would rather start a war than giving up Yi Qingyao. Yet Lien Qingyi, on the other hand, was discarded without a doubt, even when she was the goddess of the clan of the god of Ghost. It offered a sharp contrast. Lien Qingyi had no choice under such circumstances. She understood the cruelty and viciousness of the dark world, and she knew that they would kill her immediately if she refused. Lien Qingyi stared at Yi Futian and stepped forward. She soon stood in front of Yi Futian and said to him, "This is against my will. But I will serve you if it's Renhuang Ye's wish." Yi Futian took a brief look at her. The master cultivator then walked closer and said, "Give the girl to me now." "Brother, I'm leaving." Qingyao gazed at Yi Futian. "Take care of yourself." Yi Futian nodded. He let go of her without saying much. Qingyao's body drifted toward the master cultivator. She and the master cultivator went away soon after and left Lien Qingyi with Yi Futian. Lord of the Underworld stood up from his throne. Joy flashed in his dark eyes. "Mei Ting, let's call it a day. We should have another drink in the future if the opportunity arises." The Lord of the Underworld had accomplished his objective and naturally lost interest in staying. He was about to leave with his people. The dark storm dissipated, and the nerve-wracking situation seemed to be over. A bloody battle was averted. Yi Futian stared at Lien Qingyi. The goddess of the clan of the god of Ghost probably never said anything truthful to him ever since they met the first time. Yi Futian's fingers generated tremendous sword will of the great path and formed a terrifying whirlwind. Lien Qingyi lowered her head and noticed Yi Futian's hand. Panic-stricken, she yelled, "Renhuang Yi, I didn't ask for this. You made a choice. Everyone needs to pay the price for their choices," Yi Futian said to her. A storm of sword will surged as he pointed his fingers at her. Lien Qingyi's face turned deathly pale. She drew back hastily yet was still struck by Yi Futian's finger. The force from his finger tore through the air. But Yi Futian's finger penetrated the storm of the great path. It gathered around Lien Qingyi's body and pierced her brow chakra. Her spiritual soul was shattered. Devastated, she stared at Yi Futian with her vacant eyes as though she still didn't understand why she had to die. Lien Qingyi's body fell from the sky. The cultivators of the clan of the god of Ghost were furious. The Dark Army also turned their heads to Yi Futian. The situation became volatile again at once. Even Lord of the Underworld fixed his eyes on Yi Futian. What did this silver-haired young man intend to do? Did he want to establish his authority? The cultivators in the Heavenly Mandate City looked at Yi Futian with curious eyes as well. None of them expected Yi Futian to kill the goddess of the clan of the god of Ghost. His attack showed no hesitation or pity for such a pretty woman. No one, including Lien Qingyi, would foresee that Yi Futian asked for her just to kill her. Various groups from the Hidden Land realm trespassed on the Heavenly Mandate Academy, and thereby, the Heavenly Mandate Academy declares war on the forces that came here today, said Yi Futian. His icy voice reverberated in the air and made a lot of people shudder in silence. The Heavenly Mandate Academy gave up Qingyao not because they were afraid of the enemy and bent under pressure, they did it out of due regard for her choice. Qingyao would suffer tremendously, much more so than losing her life, if many people who cared for her and rekindled her spirit died to protect her. They made Qingyao realize that she was real flesh and blood. She was human. Yi Futian respected her wish yet still declared war on the forces from the Hidden Land realm by killing the goddess of the clan of the god of Ghost, Lien Qingyi. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 1762 Holy Lands Joined Hands. Chapter 1762 Holy Lands Joined Hands. Qingyao turned her head and looked at Yi Futian briefly. Her clear eyes were filled with surprise at first. They crinkled in a smile. She understood what Brother Yi meant. Many people from the Hidden Land realm were stunned by Yi Futian's announcement. By killing the goddess of the clan of the god of ghosts to declare war on the hidden land realm, Futian made them aware that he would never let anyone who besieged the Heavenly Mandate Academy on this day off the hook, even though the battle didn't really happen. The Heavenly Mandate Academy didn't declare war on everyone who participated in the confrontation because of Yi Qingyao. They wanted to eradicate the hell. It was just like how the Buddhist cultivators collaborated with Emperor Nan and took out the hell in the past. The forces in the Hidden Land realm got themselves involved in trouble this time. No one could escape the disaster that befell the group. The cultivators of the clan of the god of ghost looked particularly stern. Lian Qingyi was their goddess, yet she was killed by Yi Futian in front of everyone to make a statement. They devoted a lot of resources to train Lian Qingyi, who also had extraordinary talents. But Yi Futian didn't even give her a chance to fight back. At the same time, the turn of events also demonstrated the difference between the Heavenly Mandate realm and the Dark Forces. Yi Futian and the Heavenly Mandate realm did their utmost to protect Yi Qingyao up until the point that the girl herself didn't want them to sacrifice their lives for her. On the contrary, the hell cast Lian Qingyi aside straight out. "Let's go." The Lord of the Underworld glanced at Yi Futian. He already obtained Yi Futian and had no intention to cause more complications. He couldn't care less about Yi Futian's statement. An ant had no quarrel with a boot. Why should he pay any attention to some war in the Void Realm? Even if Yi Futian destroyed the entire Hidden Land realm, so what? The Dark World controlled by the Dark Court could easily wipe the 9 supreme imperial realms in the Void Realm off the map if not for the consideration of Donghuang the Great Emperor. The Dark Army and the Hell pulled back and left. No one expected that the large enemy force that bore down upon the border withdrew in such manner. Both people in Heavenly Mandate City and cultivators came from other places were taken by surprise. The incident would most likely mark a watershed in the history of the 9 realms. Yi Futian and the others didn't block the Dark Army to force them to fire right now. A battle at this level better took place outside of their territory. Yi Futian still had qualms and would rather attack the Hidden Land realm. After the hell cleared off, Yi Futian looked at the cultivators from Buddhist temples and the Divine Palace, said, "Thank all of you very much for coming to help the Heavenly Mandate Academy." The hell made a comeback. "The Buddhist cultivators naturally can't stand by and watch," said the abbot of Tianxian Temple. He put his palms together and continued to speak to Yi Futian. "I heard them mention your name in the past. The girl probably will need you again in the future. Qingyao would rather sacrifice herself than implicate any of us. No matter who she is and where she comes from, I believe that she will stay true to herself," said Yi Futian. "I hope so." The abbot nodded. The hell officially came out of hiding from the Hidden Land realm and announced itself today, although the battle didn't break out. "There is going to be a turbulent time soon," someone from the Divine Palace commented. Other than the hell, many groups from the outer realms came to the Heavenly Mandate City earlier as well. Notwithstanding, the majority of them simply looked on. These groups and other top forces that would come from the outer realms later in the future would cause considerable trouble in the Void Realm. I used to cultivate in the Divine Palace and can be counted as a disciple. It's extremely fortunate for me to have your help and support today. Since there has been a drastic change in the situation, I would like to invite the seniors from the Divine Palace to come into the academy to have a discussion," Yi Futian said. The Divine Palace was a group worth associating with. Yi Futian hoped to unite more forces to weather the changes that would happen in the near future. "All right," the cultivators from the Divine Palace nodded in agreement. Yi Futian gazed into the distance and spoke loudly. "Not long ago, the hell assassinated cultivators from various forces and caused turmoil in the 9 realms to lure us to the Hidden Land realm. Now that the hell has returned, will you really be able to remain intact if you stand by indifferently? Since you came to the Heavenly Mandate City today, the Heavenly Mandate Academy will set up a banquet and invite all of you to have a drink with us." His voice boomed through the air. Even people far away could hear him clearly. The Heavenly Mandate Academy had declared war on the Hidden Land realm only a short time ago. It went without saying that Yi Futian invited people to go to the Heavenly Mandate Academy to bring the forces in the 9 realms together and contend with the hell. Did he want to attack the hell proactively? Inside the tavern where cultivators of the Divine Palace, Golden Divine Nation, and Celestial Worthy Temple were staying. Shen Gao heard Yi Futian's voice and said, "This man is not only remarkably talented but also has amazing courage and resolution. He would be a great leader with an unfathomable future if he reached a higher plane. The Shen clan could become even stronger if he were one of us." A cultivator from the Celestial Worthy Mountain said, "He wants to team up the forces in the 9 realms to confront the hell. It's not as easy as he thinks." Many groups are related to the outer realms and certainly won't participate in the effort. The Celestial Worthy Temple originated in the outer realms and would never join a force led by the Heavenly Mandate Academy. Other than the Celestial Worthy Temple, quite a few top forces also had deep connections with the outer realms, such as the Solar Divine Palace in the Solar Realm and the Yuyue Divine Palace in the Shadow Realm. Moreover, did Yi Futian believe the hell was the only enemy? That would be wishful thinking. The cultivators from the Celestial Worthy Mountains certainly understood the argument and concerns of other top forces that were rooted in the outer realms. A different group of people was sitting in another direction. There were plenty of famous cultivators among them, including Jian Qingzhu. They came from Tianshan Academy in the Central Emperor Realm. Tianshan Academy was a group with immense power in the entire Void Realm. "How about we take a trip to the Heavenly Mandate Academy?" Jian Qingzhu looked at a senior cultivator with inquiring eyes and asked. However, the senior cultivator hesitated a moment and replied, "Let's go back." Jian Qingzhu was surprised. Why would they go back? "Let's go." The senior cultivator stood up and walked out while contemplating some ideas in his mind. The current leader of Tianshan Academy was the Jian family, to which Jian Qingzhu belonged. The Jian family had a solid background and immense power. They went to Tianshan Academy years ago under Donghuang the Great Emperor's direction and built Tianshan Academy, crafting it as the best academy in the 3,000 realms of the Great Path. A lot of people thought it was because they had the support of the Great Emperor. Only people of the Jian family knew that they were banished to the Void Realm for their crimes. The Jian family was an ancient aristocratic family that came from the Divine Prefecture in the Outer Realms. They were exiled to Tianshan Academy by Donghuang the Great Emperor. Despite having even more power than people imagined, they kept a low profile and nurtured the younger generations quietly. They raised many excellent cultivators who were already celebrated in the Central Emperor Realm. These cultivators would all become part of their resources. They trained Jian Qingzhu to be the leader of Tianshan Academy in the future or even the leader of the whole Void Realm. It was their goal. However, Yi Futian outshone Jian Qingzhu nowadays. A lot of people showed up in the Heavenly Mandate Academy in Heavenly Mandate City. They were all discussing what happened during the day. Besides Yi Futian of the Heavenly Mandate Academy, another person made a strong and lasting impression on the people in Heavenly Mandate City. It was Mei Ting, who stopped the Dark Army by himself. And it seemed like he only intervened because they spoiled his mood for drinking. Right now, he was sitting in the tavern and drinking alone again. Many cultivators gathered around the tavern, yet no one dared to come forward and drink with him. They could only stare at him from afar. This man dressed in black was a formidable fighter. He punched through the Fate World with one strike and slaughtered many Renwangs. No one from the Dark Army dared to pick a fight with him. His absolute power was self-evident. After everything was over, he resumed drinking as if no one else was around. The banquet was quickly set up in the Heavenly Mandate Academy. It was a grand feast with countless seats. The cultivators from the Divine Palace certainly were present while the Buddhist cultivators left before the banquet started. Besides that, most of the cultivators from the Yuyue Divine Palace attended the banquet, including Changshi the goddess. People from the clan of the Seven Slayers in the Ziwei realm were also there. They always had a fine relationship with Yi Futian and believed the Heavenly Mandate Academy could be a valuable partner in the face of the incoming storm. The clan of the Seven Slayers was willing to join forces with the Heavenly Mandate Academy. As Yi Futian said, it was difficult for a group to stay out of trouble and protect itself under the current circumstances. Everyone would be embroiled in the upcoming war. Yi Futian met the Lord of the Divine Palace for the first time. The Lord was a middle-aged man in his 40s with an elegant bearing. He led a secluded life and was not well known by people, especially the younger generation. He rarely showed his face, even in the divine palace. Huang Zhong followed him around quietly. Although Huang Zhong was a legendary cultivator with a perfect divine wheel, he still acted like a reserved student in front of the Lord of the Divine Palace. I used to cultivate in the ancestral lands. It's an honor to meet my Lord today. Let me propose 3 toasts to you. Yi Futian stood up and said to the Lord of the Divine Palace. He observed the etiquette for juniors and drank 3 glasses of wine. Although you never met me before, I noticed you when you entered the ancestral lands. However, it seemed like the ancestral lands were not that significant to you, the Lord of the Divine Palace said with a smile. The ancestral lands could help cultivators develop perfect divine wheels. Yi Futian obviously didn't need that. I benefited a lot from my time in the ancestral lands. I'm almost a disciple of the Divine Palace, Yi Futian replied deferentially and humbly. You were not so modest when you were in the Divine Palace. The Lord of the Divine Palace laughed. People around him all recalled Yi Futian's arrogant conduct in the Divine Palace and started to laugh. He was so high and mighty back then. My lord is laughing at me now, said Yi Futian. Lord Taishan, who was on the side, also joined the conversation. Futian is practically a disciple of the Divine Palace and the founder and leader of the Heavenly Mandate Academy. Looking at it this way, the Heavenly Mandate Academy is more or less a form of extension of the Divine Palace in the Heavenly Mandate realm. We both impart knowledge to disciples and are derived from the same origin. I suggest we connect the Heavenly Mandate Academy and the Shangxiao Divine Palace with a teleportation grand matrix so the disciples on both sides can move around and share their experience easily. What does my lord think? I think if disciples in the Divine Palace will be exhilarated if they learn about this. I'm only afraid that my disciples will all come to the Heavenly Mandate Academy. The Lord of the Divine Palace laughed. He apparently agreed to the proposal. He was joking because the Heavenly Mandate Academy focused on helping people to develop perfect wheels, so they had been a strong attraction for top cultivators. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 1761 Chaos and Opportunities. Chapter 1761 Chaos and Opportunities. When Lord Taishan saw that the Palace Lord of the Divine Palace gave his promise, he smiled and said, "The Palace Lord is most benevolent. Do you know if the clan of the Seven Slayers and Yuyue Divine Palace have any thoughts on the matter? Now that the Void Realm is facing such a major change, those of us in the Void Realm should be making preparations." The clan leader of Clan of the Seven Slayers did not come in person, but he was a powerful figure with great ability himself. The first disciple of the clan leader, the first kill, was a man who looked to be 35, and his temperament was very cold. I will discuss this matter with my master after I return, the first kill said. Lord Taishan nodded. As to Yuyue Divine Palace, I am afraid there will be people coming from the divine prefectures of the upper worlds in the future, so I cannot make a decision in this case. Goddess Chang, she said apologetically. Lord Taishan completely understood. This time, the chaos in the Void Realm will not be limited to just the Hidden Land realm. Now that the passage to the Void Realm has been opened, and without any definitive orders issued by the Great Emperor, I am afraid that another round of changes is inevitable, the Palace Lord of the Divine Palace commented. In this era of great changes, the 9 supreme imperial realms may see a shuffling of powers. Lord Taishan nodded in agreement. Unless Donghuang the Great issued an order, the power structure of the 9 realms would change drastically. In the next few years, they would no doubt undergo a baptism of war. Some forces would die out, while others would rise against all odds. If the top forces from the outside world had any intentions about the Void Realm, they would not easily squander an opportunity such as this. For example, because Yuyue Divine Palace also had connections to the outside world, they would not be involved with the Heavenly Mandate Academy. At this time, someone came to inform Lord Taishan, "My lord, Nantian Divine Kingdom has come to pay us a visit." "Please show them in," Lord Taishan replied. Nantian Divine Kingdom was a transcendental power, and Emperor Nan's cultivation was extremely powerful. If Nantian Divine Kingdom could form an alliance with them, it would be of great significance. Soon, the cultivators from the Nantian Divine Kingdom arrived, and the person in the lead was peerlessly graceful, stunningly beautiful, and seemed to be out of this world. It was the princess of Nantian Divine Kingdom, Nanluoshan. Nanluoshan greets Lord Taishen and all the elders. Although Nanluoshan was the palace lord of the Nantian Divine Kingdom and the treasured daughter of Emperor Nan, she was in the presence of many prominent individuals who were of the same level existence as her father. Their strength may not be comparable to her father's, but their seniority far outranked that of her father. Therefore, Nanluoshan would not exhibit too much arrogance on an occasion like this. The princess is truly stunning. Everyone, please take a seat, Lord Taishen said. Soon, the cultivators from Nantian Divine Kingdom settled in. Futian looked at Nanluoshan and was a little surprised. He didn't expect that Nantian Divine Kingdom would attend the banquet. Princess Luoshan, what is your father's view on what is happening now? Lord Taishen asked, referring to Emperor Nan's Qinghe Divine Sword as the sword that had sealed the gate of hell. Back then, on the order of the great emperor, my father had fought with hell on the battlefield, in the hopes that the world would be peaceful and there would be no more chaos. Now that hell is up to its old tricks again, my father is worried that troublesome times will once again descend upon us. Therefore, on this trip, my father wished that a teleportation grand matrix can be built between the Heavenly Mandate Academy and Nantian Divine Kingdom. If there are emergencies at the academy, we can take care of each other, said Nanluoshan. Her words were surprising to Lord Taishen, but he was delighted because it was exactly as he had hoped. He didn't expect Emperor Nan to have the same idea that coincided with his own. I had the same idea too. We are so pleased that Emperor Nan would be willing to lend a helping hand. Please thank the Emperor on my behalf. We will immediately prepare to set up the spatial grand matrix, Lord Taishen said with a smile. My lord needn't be so formal. My father had said that if chaos were to break out, it is not so much as lending aid to the Heavenly Mandate Academy, but it might be that the Nantian Divine Kingdom would also require help from the Heavenly Mandate Academy one day, Nanluoshan replied. When she spoke, she remembered her father's comment that great changes were about to occur and that no one could predict what would happen in the future. Her parents didn't have too many concerns except for her well-being. Therefore, this alliance was not so much to help the Heavenly Mandate Academy but to give her a backup if she ever needed it. Her father had commanded Nantian Divine Kingdom, and if there were no changes, he would continue on with his rule as before. In all of the 3,000 realms of the Great Path, no one would dare to attack Nantian Divine Kingdom. But the outside world was a different story. The future was full of unknowns. When Nanluoshan heard her father's words, she understood that he had long grown tired of the fighting, and now that he was involved in this turmoil, he was worried about her. If anything were really to happen in the future, he didn't want her to be entirely helpless. In truth, Nantian Divine Kingdom still had many other options. With the strength of Emperor Nan, he could choose Tianshan Academy or even the Shen clan. But he reckoned that he could still protect Nanluoshan for some years to come. In the future, his bet was on Futian. If he did not die before his time, Futian would have a chance to surpass the emperor himself. Otherwise, if the alternative was someone not as good as he, what was the point in that? In the 3,000 realms of the Great Path, there were indeed few who could contend with Emperor Nan. After the banquet was over, all the cultivators began to leave. Although this battle did not break out with the coming of the great army of hell, it signaled the coming changes for the 9 realms in the future, which would surely set off a storm. The Heavenly Mandate Academy began setting up the teleportation grand matrix. This superspatial matrix would directly connect Shangxiao Divine Palace, Nantian Divine Kingdom, and the Clan of the Seven Slayers. Clan of the Seven Slayers also agreed to join the alliance. The reason why these major principalities were willing to form an alliance with the Heavenly Mandate Academy had a lot to do with the previous turmoil. The resolve shown by the Heavenly Mandate Academy was recognized by the entire 9 realms, and such an ally was absolutely worthy of their trust. On the day the spatial teleportation grand matrix fell in place inside the city, Yi Futian stood in the teleportation area and saw the extremely radiant divine light lit up. The space formed a terrifying spatial storm as the currents of the great path flowed. Golden spatial divine light rose upward as if forging a channel. Many figures suddenly appeared on the teleportation matrix, and Yi Futian smiled when he beheld them. Success. Many cultivators from Shangxiao Divine Palace had arrived. Lord Taishen and many other important figures from the Heavenly Mandate Academy were there, and they were all looking at the arriving visitors. Greetings, Lord Taishen. The visitors saluted Lord Taishen by bowing slightly, and many people were also looking at Yi Futian, who was standing next to Lord Taishen. Yi Futian saw many familiar faces among these visitors. Li Daozi and Li Sun of the Divine Sword Li family were there, and they had come to the Heavenly Mandate Academy to cultivate. Afterward, the light lit up again, and the cultivators from Nantian Divine Kingdom and Clan of the Seven Slayers appeared successively. Nan Luotian and the Seventh Kill also appeared within their field of vision. The setup of the spatial teleportation Grand Matrix was a complete success. So, with the Heavenly Mandate Academy as the center, in addition to being able to reach the forces directly within the Heavenly Mandate realm, it would also directly open up passageways to Yuanyang Clan, Shao Clan, Dou Tribes, Nantian Divine Kingdom, Shangxiao Divine Palace, and the Clan of the Seven Slayers. The Heavenly Mandate Academy would be the strongest gathering place within the 3,000 realms of the Great Path. From this standpoint, no other principalities could compare with it, not even Tianshan Academy. Except for the fact that the Heavenly Mandate Academy itself still had room for improvement, it could almost be considered as the core of the 3,000 realms of the Great Path. Even Lord Taishen and Shun Luoxue were delightfully surprised to see such a sight. The Heavenly Mandate Academy took an extremely important step forward. Changes and opportunities had always coexisted. Nonetheless, this was also because the recognition bestowed upon the Heavenly Mandate Academy by various forces. In a blink of an eye, several months had passed. Over the past few months, the 3,000 realms of the Great Path could be said to have been peaceful, but it could also be said that it had continued to transform. The hell that unified the Hidden Land realm was beginning to prepare all the forces in the realm. It seemed to want to control all the lands in its grasp and started to build a great army of hell. As for Qin Yao, who had already been sent away, that was their number one target. The next target of the Dark Court was the entire original realm. In addition, many principalities, such as the Solar Divine Palace and Yue Divine Palace, had shared interests with some of the outside forces. Gradually they began to want to control the voice of the principalities within the Void Realm. Struggles were being played out all the time, openly and in secret. At the same time, they were also preparing for the great changes that were to come. Precisely because of this, the past few months appeared to be particularly calm, but in fact, undercurrents had already been surging for quite a while. There didn't seem to be many changes happening at the Heavenly Mandate Academy, but its relationship with various forces had become even closer. Of course, they were the forces with whom they had formed an alliance. Even Nan Luotian was now cultivating at the Heavenly Mandate Academy, which showed just how important Emperor Nan viewed this alliance, and it was by no means a whim. On this day, while at the Heavenly Mandate Academy, Yi Futian received an invitation. Someone from a principality inside of Divine Prefecture had invited him to go to the Heavenly Mandate City for a chat. Yi Futian happily departed to the banquet and came to a palace inside Heavenly Mandate City, with many cultivators in tow. Inside the palace, music of Guqin could be heard playing, and it was extremely pleasing to the ears. A maid guided Yi Futian into the palace, and he saw a stunning woman playing the Guqin quietly. She was wearing a white dress, with ethereal temperament, as if she was a goddess who had come down from heaven. Yi Futian and the others stood there quietly and listened. At this moment, a group of people came from the other direction. The person in the lead was an elder with a supreme temperament. He said, "We came from afar and are temporarily lodging here. It's not as elaborate as we would have liked. Please bear with us." Yi Futian stood there still, bowing slightly and said, "Elder invited me to here. How can I be of service?" "Sit down and talk," the elder said with a smile while he himself took the main seat. The woman next to him still played quietly, as if there was no one around. Everyone around the old man possessed extraordinary temperament. Yi Futian could feel that all of them were of the realm of Upper Renhuang. These men were very powerful. Nowadays, in the heavenly mandate realm, his status was unquestionable. Ordinary folks may not be received by him even if they visited, but someone had sent out an invitation for him to come to their door, which demonstrated the high-handed attitude of the other. But here he was anyway, now that the situation was unknown and chaos was imminent. At this time, an invitation from the forces of divine prefecture should be treated with caution, hence his visit to parse out the intention of the other party. Presumably, little friend, you have already guessed that we are from the divine prefecture. The old man said, "Allow me to introduce ourselves. We are from the Song Imperial Palace in Divine Prefecture." Imperial Palace? Yi Futian's eyes sharpened slightly. To be able to take the name of the Imperial Palace, even if it was no longer ruled by an emperor now, there must have been a figure of the same level as the great emperor, another ancient and terrifying principality. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Yi Futian was not clear on exactly how many forces from the 9 realms had come. However, he knew that even in Heavenly Mandate City, there were already many top forces that were active all the time. Yi Futian was not clear on exactly how many forces from the 9 realms had come. However, he knew that even in Heavenly Mandate City, there were already many top forces that were active all the time. Aside from the forces that had previously visited the Heavenly Mandate Academy, Song Imperial City was the first force to send him an invitation to come over to their place. Yi Futian sat there quietly and did not say anything, waiting for the other party to continue speaking. The elder of Song Imperial City continued saying, "When coming over from the Divine Prefecture, I came to understand a little about the events that occurred in the Void Realm. I have heard that, currently, the Heavenly Mandate Academy is facing a bit of trouble?" "We are doing well," Yi Futian replied. "Thank you, Senior, for your concern." "Hell is a power that belongs to the Dark Court," the elder continued. "Even the master of the throne of the underworld has come in person. Although he was held off by Mei Ting was merely passing by last time. Next time, the Heavenly Mandate Academy will most likely face trouble. Even if you cooperate with the local forces, it will be difficult to stand against them. To my knowledge, the Heavenly Mandate Academy also has many enemies in the Void Realm. In the upper worlds, Shen Clan is also a super force." "Senior, you seem to be well informed," Yi Futian said with a smile. The other party clearly had already investigated the matter very thoroughly. "Since I came over, it is only natural that I should understand things clearly. Not only do I know about the Heavenly Mandate Academy, but I also roughly know about the various top forces in the Void Realm. For example, do you know the background of Tianshan Academy?" the elder asked. "There is a story about Tianshan Academy?" Yi Futian asked. The elder explained, for Tianshan Academy to be able to become the top academy in the Void Realm was actually all the work of the great emperor behind the scenes. The Jian family of Tianshan Academy was previously an ancient clan renowned in the Divine Prefecture. They had many resources and were an extremely powerful force. However, because they had committed crimes in the Divine Prefecture, they were sentenced to exile in the Void Realm by the great emperor. He made them redeem themselves through their service. This gave birth to the splendor of the top academy of the Void Realm. The elder continued, "The Jian family has very powerful abilities. However, most likely, the members of the Void Realm are not aware of this." Yi Futian remained silent and did not say anything. Jian Qingzhu should be a member of the Jian family. Yi Futian never imagined that they had such a backstory. Many forces like Solar Divine Palace, Yue Divine Palace, and Celestial Worthy Temple are actually branch powers of the Outer Realms. However, hundreds of years ago, the great emperors sealed off the Void Realm, causing their relationship with the Outer Realms to wane. Nevertheless, now that the passageway has been reopened, many things are about to change. Little friendy, Have you ever considered making the Heavenly Mandate Academy the top academy of the Void Realm? When Yi Futian heard the elder's words, he raised his head. He knew that the elder had begun to get to his point. Did Song Imperial City have their eyes on the Heavenly Mandate Academy? The Heavenly Mandate Academy is a place of teaching. However, being powerful is also the foundation of teaching, Yi Futian replied. The elder nodded and said, currently, the Heavenly Mandate Academy's ability is already not weak. It is also allied with many forces. However, they are not the Heavenly Mandate Academy itself. Little friend Yi, have you considered taking other forces into the Heavenly Mandate Academy? If the Heavenly Mandate Academy can have a top force of the Divine Prefecture backing it, not only will it be able to withstand against Hell, but it can also stand firmly at the peak of the Void Realm and become the top cultivating holy land in the Void Realm. The elder had already said it so directly, how could Yi Futian not understand what he meant? Song Imperial Palace wanted to take over the Heavenly Mandate Academy. These top forces from the Divine Prefecture also wanted to hold power in the Void Realm. Senior, what do you want? Yi Futian asked directly, not beating around the bush. The elder looked at Yi Futian with a smile and said, Song Imperial Palace can aid the Heavenly Mandate Academy to become powerful. However, we wish to be like what the Jian family is to the Tianshan Academy and become the clan behind the Heavenly Mandate Academy. Of course, on the surface, the college chief of the academy is still Lord Taishin. In the future, it can also be passed on to you. Song Imperial Palace wanted to stand behind the Heavenly Mandate Academy and become the force that controlled it behind the scenes. It wanted to take over the Heavenly Mandate Academy. Such ambition. It seemed that Song Imperial Palace was far more powerful than Yi Futian had imagined. Otherwise, their appetite would not be so big. Previously, when Yi Futian was chatting with the Palace Lord of the Divine Palace, they had talked about other forces from the outer realms coming to take over the top forces of the 9 realms. Now, Yi Futian encountered such a case. However, it was naturally impossible for Yi Futian to agree to this. His ideals were the same as Lord Taishuan's. Only by being independent could they control the direction of the Heavenly Mandate Academy. They had never treated the Heavenly Mandate Academy as a force that they controlled. However, once they let Song Imperial Palace take over, everything would change. Would the Heavenly Mandate Academy still be the same? There would no longer be any meaning in it existing. Junior thanks Senior for your good intentions. However, I am just a member of the Heavenly Mandate Academy. I am not qualified at all to determine who the Heavenly Mandate Academy belongs to, Yi Futian explained. Of course, the Heavenly Mandate Academy will also not be controlled by any one person or force. As the college chief, Lord Taishin is only working to pass down teachings. Hence, I can only politely decline Senior's offer. Yi Futian, sooner or later, you are going to leave the Void Realm. You don't belong here. Song Imperial Palace will be a very good place for you. You can directly get in contact with central powers in the Divine Prefecture. The elder continued to persuade Yi Futian and painted a bright future for him. It seems like Senior has yet to comprehend my words just now, Yi Futian said. All that I said is true. I have not told any lies. So whatever Senior says now is meaningless to me. Upon listening to Yi Futian's words, the elder fell silent and just stared at Yi Futian quietly. Yi Futian looked the elder in the eyes and did not retract his gaze. The elder obviously did not believe Yi Futian's words. Based on the information the elder gathered, Yi Futian was the decision-maker in the Heavenly Mandate Academy. His influence in the Heavenly Mandate Academy might even surpass that of Lord Taishin, who was the college chief. Therefore, the elder approached Yi Futian. Are you not going to consider my offer at all? The elder asked. Yi Futian stood up. Bowing slightly, he said, Junior will take my leave now. Even though he was somewhat irritated, he did not want to make more enemies now. Hence, Yi Futian still kept his manners even though he had lost interest in continuing the conversation with the elder. Suddenly, the music turned intense and rang in Yi Futian's ears. He turned around and saw that the lady had stopped playing the instrument. Her gaze was fixed on him. Her eyes were extremely enchanting, but they revealed hints of aloofness. One could clearly sense that she was distancing herself from the rest. Futian swept a glance at her and left. The members of the Heavenly Mandate Academy left along with him. After they left, the elder was still sitting at his spot. They are ignorant of their current state, a stern-looking, middle-aged man who stood behind the elder commented. His aura was overbearing. Before Futian and the rest left, he was pressuring everyone from the Heavenly Mandate Academy with his might. If the elder had given his order, he would have attacked them right away. We are outsiders after all. They are the owners of this side of the world. Naturally, they will not hand over the right of control so easily, the elder responded. Moreover, this Futian is talented and famous. I am sure he is very arrogant. Judging from his attitude, it is impossible for him to willingly allow us to have shares in the Heavenly Mandate Academy. The group from Song Imperial Palace came here with a mission this time. They had to seize control of a force in the Void Realm. The Heavenly Mandate Academy was undoubtedly their first choice. This force had huge influence and potential. If they could win Futian over to join their Song Imperial Palace, it would be even more perfect. Unfortunately, their plan had failed. However, they still had plenty of time, and they were not in a rush. Now that the passageway had been connected, the chaos in the Void Realm would last for a while. Other forces from Divine Prefecture would most likely make a move too. After Futian returned to the Heavenly Mandate Academy, he informed Lord Taishian and the others about this matter. Lord Taishian and the others all realized that there were forces from the outer realms that already wanted to claim the Heavenly Mandate Academy. Prior to this, other forces had tried to do so, but they had failed. Song Imperial Palace would also definitely not be the last force to try to do so. As expected, the next day, in the sky outside of the Heavenly Mandate Academy, a large group of cultivators descended. Their auras were frightening and had spread across the entire Heavenly Mandate Academy. Everyone could clearly sense it. Lord Taishian Futian and the others stepped forward and came up into the sky above the Heavenly Mandate Academy. They gazed into the distant sky. May I know what business you have with us for all of you to come over to the Heavenly Mandate Academy? Lord Taishian asked from afar. We are from the Divine Prefecture's training Holy Land, the Holy Land of Taichu. Rumor has it that the Heavenly Mandate Academy is passing on teachings in the Heavenly Mandate Realm. The Holy Land of Taichu wishes to establish a cultivation temple here in the Void Realm. Why don't we join forces and establish it together? We can set the Heavenly Mandate Academy as a branch of the Holy Land of Taichu. When that happens, the Holy Land of Taichu will be connected to the Heavenly Mandate Academy and will send cultivators from the Divine Prefecture to the Academy to pass on teachings. A voice called out. It could be heard all across the Heavenly Mandate Academy. They were even more direct and overbearing than the previous Song Imperial Palace. They wanted the Heavenly Mandate Academy to become a branch of the Holy Land of Taichu. This act was so arrogant. The various cultivators of the Heavenly Mandate Academy were somewhat dumbfounded. The Holy Land of Taichu was actually behaving so high and mighty. They came from the outer realms, yet they wanted the Heavenly Mandate Academy to submit to them. The Heavenly Mandate Academy is the Heavenly Mandate Academy. We do not need other forces to come and pass on their teachings here. When Lord Taishian heard the words of the other party, his aura immediately turned cold. This was practically too presumptuous. The Holy Land of Taichu was looking down on them completely. Since you are a force that passes on teachings, the name of the force is not important. It is all right as long as you can pass on teachings and improve the conditions of cultivators, the other party continued. Taichu Saint Emperor has peerless cultivation and has many mighty existences serving beneath him. He has trained countless outstanding figures. If the Heavenly Mandate Academy becomes a branch of the Holy Land of Taichu, it will only stand to benefit. There will not be any losses. I believe the disciples of the Heavenly Mandate Academy will also not mind. Please see yourself out. I will not send you off. Lord Taishian immediately chased them away. It was impossible to have an exchange with them when they had such a haughty attitude. If that is the case, we will return in 7 days. When we return, we wish to experience the abilities of the Heavenly Mandate Academy in passing on teachings. If your abilities are not up to par, then the Academy should step aside and let the Holy Land of Taichu pass on teachings here, the other party said. Then he immediately left. When the members of the Heavenly Mandate Academy heard this, everyone understood that the other party came over here merely to inform them of this. They were not planning to use methods of persuasion like Song Imperial Palace had at all. Instead, they wanted to take down the Heavenly Mandate Academy directly. This takedown was also somewhat different. They were trying to suppress the members of the Heavenly Mandate Academy through their ability to pass on teachings. That way, the Holy Land of Taichu could replace the Heavenly Mandate Academy directly. By passing on their teachings here, just as they had said, it was no concern for the local cultivators. If the ability of the Holy Land of Taichu to pass on teachings was stronger, they would naturally be more suitable for cultivators. The Holy Land of Taichu merely wanted to claim all the hard work of the Heavenly Mandate Academy and directly replace them. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. The people of the Holy Land of Taichu walked out, but the people of the Heavenly Mandate Academy seemed rather restless. The people of the Holy Land of Taichu walked out, but the people of the Heavenly Mandate Academy seemed rather restless. This legendary force from the Divine Prefecture was too arrogant. They wanted to replace them. And their plans did not stop there. They were the wildest force from the outer realms that Yi Futian had ever encountered. Let's go back. Lord Taishuan's expression was a little cold. He moved down, and his group turned back towards the Heavenly Mandate Academy. Hell is leading the army of the Hidden Land here to attack. We are all facing them head-on. Where does the Holy Land of Taichu's confidence come from? They are far too arrogant, said a cultivator. His tone showed how displeased he was. Since the Holy Land of Taichu had come here, they surely heard of the Heavenly Mandate Academy situation. What do you think, Futian? Said Lord Taishuan. The fact that they dare to do this must be because they are one of the supreme forces of the Divine Prefecture. Their power goes without saying. Secondly, although they are acting arrogantly, they are still very smart. They want to establish their power by teaching in the lower realms, and doing that step by step by themselves would be difficult. If they can come right to the Heavenly Mandate Academy, they will be able to spread throughout the world more quickly, said Yi Futian. Moreover, they don't want to attack us. They just want to replace us. This is very different. If the Academy is completely conquered and they propose coming here to teach, there would be nothing wrong with that. Even if we don't agree, they can found their own place to each in the Holy Land of Taichu. Yes, said Lord Taishuan with a nod. They just want to replace us. If they can't, they can still use our name to establish themselves. The techniques that the Holy Land of Taichu was using were very different from what the Song Imperial Palace had done. But they were equally effective. The Song Imperial Palace was not a place for teaching, so they could not do things that way, but the Holy Land of Taichu could. In that way, the lower realms would regard it as a struggle between the teaching holy lands of the Divine Prefecture and the Void Realm. If they lost, it would only be a matter of course that the Holy Land of Taichu would start teaching in the Void Realm. Honestly speaking, many people in the Divine Prefecture wanted to establish their power in the Void Realm, reshuffling the cards in the Void Realm and making things just like they were before. However, from this, one could see that the forces of the Divine Prefecture attached great importance on the Void Realm. Perhaps it was because this was the original realm, the source of the Great Path, and the Heavenly Great Path. After the collapse, it could form a new world. Unlike before, when Song Imperial Palace had come quietly, when the cultivators of the Holy Land of Taichu descended upon Heavenly Mandate City, they caused an uproar. It was just as Yi Futian expected. Many people regarded this as a battle between the teaching forces of the Void Realm and the Divine Prefecture. And it was not only Heavenly Mandate City. The news spread quickly throughout the 9 Supreme Realms, including the Heavenly Mandate Realm itself. The chaos caused by the armies of the Hidden Land Realm had not yet subsided, and this caused new disturbances. Things were truly unsettled now. Many people sighed at this. The Heavenly Mandate Academy had truly become the center of the 9 realms. It was extremely busy there now. At that moment, In the guest palace where the people from the Song Imperial Palace were staying, the old man who had invited Yi Futian was there. He and the others were discussing these matters. The Holy Land of Taichu is very direct. They have never been in contact with the Heavenly Mandate Academy before, and yet they want to replace them in the most simple and overbearing manner, said a middle-aged man. The old man smiled and said, "The Holy Land of Taichu is very smart. They know that there is no use in negotiating. They must have heard about our conversation with Yi Futian and his conversations with the other powers." "So, can the Holy Land of Taichu succeed?" asked a woman, looking at the old man. "Their power goes without saying, as you all know. Their strength in the divine prefecture is vast, and their influence is truly terrifying. Many powerful figures have come from there. It is said that many of them have come here now. It must be very important to them to teach their ways in the original realm." The old man said, "The Heavenly Mandate Academy has made many alliances, and the Holy Land of Taichu will not go to war with them. But in terms of forums, even the Academy and all their allies will be no match for them. At that time, we will go watch the excitement. Maybe we will get something out of it," said the old man with a smile. "I'm going out for a walk," said the woman, then she rose and left. Many people followed her. Obviously, this woman was very important. Now, all the cultivators in Heavenly Mandate City seemed to be talking about this. When the woman came to a restaurant, everyone there was talking to it. The woman and her followers sat down. Another group of people was sitting in another part of the restaurant. One of them looked up at the woman. These people looked rather young, but they had powerful auras. They were from the Holy Land of Taichu. It seemed that the woman had come here on purpose. But the others did not know that. The people in the restaurant were all engaged in their own discussions. Where even is this Holy Land of Taichu? They are too much. Are they really one of the top places for teaching in the upper realms? Someone said. If they dared to do what they did, they must be special, someone else said. But even if they are a top force from the divine prefecture, if I had some talent and was asked to choose, I would still choose the Heavenly Mandate Academy. The Academy does things in a manner that I like. They act righteously. And not to mention that girl, Chu Yu of our very own Chu family. She has achieved great things there and forged a perfect divine wheel. Her potential is limitless. They do not look down on anyone there. And as for the Holy Land of Taichu, who knows how powerful they are? Moreover, they are a force from the divine prefecture. No matter how wonderful their teaching, the Heavenly Mandate Academy has Yi Futian. He is more well-suited to teach powerful and talented people. At that moment, Yi Futian's status within the academy was extremely high. Many of the younger people there worshipped him. You are right, especially when we have many heroic figures like Do Zhao of the Do tribe and the goddess of the Shao clan. Are they any worse than the people of the divine prefecture? They are willing to follow Yi Futian and cultivate with him. I heard that now even Nan Luotian is cultivating at the academy. She is the princess of the Nantian divine kingdom, Emperor Nan's precious pearl, the light of his eyes, right? Emperor Nan was a legendary figure. At that moment, a scoff rang out, piercing everyone's ears in the quiet restaurant. Everyone turned and looked in the direction that the scoffing sound had come from. They saw that it was the great figure from the Holy Land of Taichu. Seeing how powerful he and his companions were, the rest of the people in the restaurant were silent. The person who had spoken before asked, "Do you think that what I said was false?" The people from the Holy Land of Taichu did not answer. They still sat there. The woman from Song Imperial Palace watched them. The cultivators of the Holy Land of Taichu were so arrogant that they would certainly not deign to get into a fight here. Moreover, the ones who had come were all Renuangs. "How many levels of swordsmanship has Brother Qin Ke mastered?" someone asked. 7, someone answered. "That's incredible. I wonder if I'll get a chance to test his swordsmanship while I'm here in the Void Realm. I heard that the Heavenly Mandate Academy is training many people who have perfect divine wheels. They are probably quite capable. Perhaps there will be a time for crossing swords," said someone else. Suddenly, the restaurant became very calm. It seemed that they all knew who these people were. They were the icons that they had just been discussing, the people from the Holy Land of Taichu. It was just like when they had appeared at the Heavenly Mandate Academy. Their words were empty and arrogant, as there would be none of the crossing of swords that they spoke of. This made it so that some people could not stand to listen to them. A Rinhuang-level cultivator who had his back to them said, although they come from the divine prefecture, they are blind to their actual strength. The people at the Heavenly Mandate Academy stand at the top of the 3,000 realms of the Great Path. The people of the Holy Land of Tianchu just smiled. But in the next instant, a suffocating sword will fill the restaurant. Everyone could clearly feel it enter them. It seemed that the place had suddenly been sealed off by sword will. And the Renhuang who had just spoken felt it the fiercest. It was like there were swords everywhere, and they were all as sharp as possible. Soon, sweat began to bead on the Renhuang's face. He was under a great amount of pressure. But then the sword will disappeared. One of the people from the Holy Land of Taichu said, a summer insect cannot discuss ice. You have never left here, so your perspective is limited to here. When your vision is so limited, there is no need for your opinion. Let's go. On saying this, they rose and prepared to leave. But the woman said, is Mu Chinka of the Taichu sparring grounds here? The people from the Holy Land of Taichu turned and looked at the woman, a look of surprise on their faces. One of them quickly guessed her identity. He smiled and said, I would never have thought that the princess of Song Imperial Palace would personally come to the lower realms. Pleased to meet you. The woman just sat there. She said indifferently, I wonder if the Taiyi sword of Tianchu sparring ground is as fat as people say. On saying this, she rose and left. The Holy Land of Taichu was legendary within the divine prefecture. They had countless disciples, and they cultivated many different arts. Swordsmanship was naturally one of them. Taichu sparring ground was incredibly prestigious. It was said that Mu Chinka was the most masterful swordsman of his generation there. The people from the Holy Land of Taichu watched her leave with smiles on their faces. The princess of Song Imperial City had come personally. It seemed she was just like them. She wanted to establish a foothold in the original realm. Now all was clear. They turned and left as well. After they did, the restaurant became lively again. But the Renhuang who had been targeted before looked a little solemn. A summer insect could not discuss ice? Was the Holy Land of Taichu really that strong? If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. 7 days passed in the blink of an eye. Heavenly Mandate City was bustling as countless cultivators gathered there. They were heading for the center of the city, where the Heavenly Mandate Academy was. 7 days before, the force from the divine prefecture known as the Holy Land of Taichu had come to the Heavenly Mandate Academy with their arrogant words to see if they had the right to be teaching the way. They wanted to take their place, becoming the ones who would teach the way in the Heavenly Mandate realm. 7 days passed in the blink of an eye. Heavenly Mandate City was bustling as countless cultivators gathered there. They were heading for the center of the city, where the Heavenly Mandate Academy was. 7 days before, the force from the divine prefecture known as the Holy Land of Taichu had come to the Heavenly Mandate Academy with their arrogant words to see if they had the right to be teaching the way. They wanted to take their place, becoming the ones who would teach the way in the Heavenly Mandate realm. It was said that several days ago, they had shown their vast strength in a restaurant. Now, even people as highly regarded as Yi Futian were beginning to worry. The Holy Land of Taichu was too strong. They had come from the divine prefecture like a dragon crossing a river. If the two forces got into a fight, given the strength of the Heavenly Mandate Academy's current alliance, even the Holy Land of Taichu would not have a chance. But they did not want to destroy the Heavenly Mandate Academy, they just wanted to enter it and become its masters or replace it. In this situation, it was impossible for the Heavenly Mandate Academy to unite with all their allies to surround and repress them. This was a struggle between the teaching holy lands of the divine prefecture and the Heavenly Mandate realm. Once the Heavenly Mandate Academy came under pressure, then even if they could keep teaching, it would still be a great shock to them. After all, the Holy Land of Taichu wanted to teach here as well. And this was not short-term, they would be here for a long time. Gradually, they would naturally replace the Heavenly Mandate Academy. Thus, the people Heavenly Mandate City paid close attention to this struggle. At dawn, Cultivators from all over would gather together outside the academy like a sea of people. Everyone was looking at the character inscribed at the top of the academy. The light off of the great path covered an endless area, and everyone could feel a marvelous will. They all remembered the character that Lord Taishin had once inscribed when the academy had been founded. Ever since the founding of the academy, it had withstood many storms. But they didn't know if it would make it through this one. At that moment, Yi Futian and Hua Jiyu were with Hua Fenglu within the academy. Nianyu was there as well, enjoying the peaceful quiet. After the crisis ended, Yi Futian had taken them back from the Dou tribe. Will there be any trouble today? Although they were in the center of the Heavenly Mandate Academy, cultivators had excellent hearing, and Hua Fenglu could faintly hear the voices outside in the distance. People would occasionally go flying by through the air outside, coming towards the academy. But they did not dare fly directly above the academy but instead descended outside. Only a little trouble. Otherwise, how could I be your apprentice? Yi Futian asked Hua Fenglu. Said Hua Fenglu with a nod. He was used to Yi Futian's boasting ability. After all, he was his apprentice, and thus the ability came from him. I know that Donghuang the Great was very far away from Qingzhou City, but I did not know he was quite this far. Now that you have finally come into contact with the Divine Prefecture, these top forces that come from there will put some pressure on you, said Hua Fenglu. He was not totally sure about Yi Futian's identity, but he knew that he was related to Emperor Yi Qing. Thus, in his view, even those forces that came from the Divine Prefecture could not block his path. Yi Futian shrugged and said, "You don't need to worry about any of these things. I will take care of them." All right. Hua Fenglu ate no more on the subject. He waved his hand and said, "You and Jiyu can go. Nianyu, stay here." "Okay," said Yi Futian with a nod. He took Hua Jiyu's hand and left. Nianyu wanted to follow them, but she looked at Hua Fenglu's expression and just sat there pouting. Hua Fenglu watched them leave and sighed quietly. Although he looked carefree and unconcerned, how could he not be worried? After coming here, he had experienced a life and death crisis. The last time that Yi Futian had asked them to leave, he had been worried the whole time. He hoped that what had happened at the Holy Ji Palace in the past would not happen here at the Heavenly Mandate Academy. Someone of his age could not withstand a shock like that. At that time, there were many people gathered together at the Heavenly Mandate Academy. When Yi Futian arrived, all eyes fell upon him. They were all speechless. The man was actually unperturbed. "Ah, you're all here," said Yi Futian with a smile, looking at everyone. All the people of his generation from each force was there. Dou Zhao, Xiaomuyu, even Nan Luoshan, and others were all present. Nan Luoshan looked at Yi Futian in surprise. Yi Futian was still enjoying the tranquility at a time like this? Was he really so confident? "Brother, I can't wait anymore. Why haven't the people from the Holy Land of Taichu shown up yet?" Dou Zhao seemed eager, wishing to fight as soon as possible. He was itching for a fight. There were few worthy opponents at the Heavenly Mandate Academy. Yi Futian smiled at him and said, "Don't worry about it. Have you forgotten about the battle with Di Wu of the Solar Divine Palace? The Holy Land of Taichu is from the Divine Prefecture, and their core members will likely be no weaker than him. Even when fighting people of your generation, your victory will not be assured. Moreover, we don't know for sure what tricks they will try. No matter what, don't try to hold me back this time, brother." Dou Zhao seemed to hold a grudge about the fact that there had been no battle last time. "If there is someone suitable for you to fight, you will have the chance," said Yi Futian. He looked off into the distance. It all depended on what the Holy Land of Taichu did. However, he knew that they had the advantage in a struggle between powers. The group around him all had perfect divine wheels. They were the preeminent figures from many major realms. If they could not suppress their opponents, then any other realm would not have a chance. "Do you remember the ancestral land of the Divine Palace?" came a voice. Someone was speaking to Yi Futian. Yi Futian looked and saw that the speaker was someone he was familiar with. It was Huang Zhong of the Shangxiao Divine Palace. He had come as well. The Heavenly Mandate Academy and the Shangxiao Divine Palace were allies now. It was only natural that their cultivators would be here. "Of course I remember," said Yi Futian with a nod. It had left a deep impression on him. The palace lord said, "There are many wonderful mysteries and divine objects in the world of cultivation. Some of the top forces of the higher heavens have rare cultivation resources, making them stronger than the divine palace," said Huang Zhong to Yi Futian. "Thus, we should never take our enemies lightly." Huang Zhong was normally very proud, but now, facing the holy land of Taichu, he seemed to be a bit more calculating. Although he was proud, he knew not to underestimate his opponent. Back then, at the Shangxiao Divine Palace, he had been the only one to enter the ancestral land at that time. Thus, he had the right to be proud. But this situation was different. There were many people at the holy land of Taichu who were his equal. Thus, he had no right to be arrogant in these circumstances. Yi Futian understood what he meant. There were incredible treasures in the ancestral land of the divine palace, which could let the cultivator who got them to forge a perfect divine wheel. Would the top forces of the divine prefecture not have something similar? They knew that the 3,000 realms of the Great Path were now called the Void Realm by the divine prefecture. Before the path had been opened, they had been shut off from each other. Over countless years, most of the land's cultivation resources had been used up. Yi Futian nodded slightly. A holy land of the divine prefecture could also train cultivators with perfect divine wheels. At that moment, the winds and clouds changed up in the sky. Brilliant sword light descended from the sky, and the clouds opened up as they were cut by a sword. Then, a group of mighty figures descended, standing in the air above the heavenly mandate academy like a group of gods. They looked down upon the academy. "They're here." The people outside the academy looked up at the cultivators in the sky. At that moment, a group of figures walked out of the academy. "Let's go," said Yi Futian as he and the others stepped up into the air. Soon, they had reached the edge of the academy and were standing atop an ancient temple, looking at the figures in the air before them. On the other side, the cultivators of Song Imperial Palace had arrived as well and were standing there calmly. In addition, there were the cultivators of several powerful forces within the crowd. All of them were from the divine prefecture. The one who had told Yi Futian that if he needed help, he could seek out his elder was there as well. In the middle of the crowd of people from Song Imperial Palace, an old man looked up at the cultivators from the holy land of Taichu, his gaze falling upon a youth with his hair tied back with a headband. He was suffused with sharp will. As he stood there, he gave off the sense that he was both mighty and overbearing. That must be Mu Chinka of the Taichu sparring grounds, known as the most powerful contender in the next generation of swordsmen. "He has great potential," said the elder. The foremost skill that the Taichu sparring grounds taught was swordsmanship. Thus, this Mu Chinka was the leader of his generation. Beside the elder, the princess of Song Imperial Palace nodded slightly. They wondered if Mu Qiuink would have a chance to show off now. The great figures of the divine palace stood within the heavenly mandate academy, looking at the cultivators in the distance. One of them said, "People are gathering like clouds here in heavenly mandate city. There are many forces from the divine prefecture here." "How large is the gap between the divine prefecture and us?" asked Lord Taishan. "My lord, our world has the 3,000 realms of the Great Path. But in all 3,000 realms, how much space does the place of human cultivation occupy?" asked the great figure from the divine palace. "In the 3,000 realms of the Great Path, every realm is independent of one another, separated by an endless distance. This distance far exceeds the realms themselves as there is boundless space added to it. The place where humans are active is just a drop in the ocean," said Lord Taishan. Said the great figure from the divine palace with a nod. "It is said that many years ago, the heavenly path collapsed, creating the situation. But the palace lord said that the divine prefecture is like an endless continent, not like one of our 3,000 realms. The one realm is like a whole world connected together. It is so vast and has countless cultivators. Can you imagine it?" Lord Taishan was shocked when he heard this. Although he had reached such a high level 300 years ago, he had lacked some formative experiences and thus had never left his realm. Moreover, for countless years amazing cultivators have taught in the divine prefecture from generation to generation. Where we are now is the original land, but in the eyes of the divine prefecture, it is just a forbidden land. There is no comparison, continued the man. The people of the top forces of the void realm could perhaps compete with the great figures of the outer realms individually, but altogether, the difference in power was far too great. There was no way to make up for their lack. This was just the void realm. Because of this, many ancient, powerful forces had risen in the land of the divine prefecture, and all of them had terrifying histories. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1765 Almost Perfect. Chapter 1765 Almost Perfect. Both within and without the Heavenly Mandate Academy, cultivators from all over had gathered like clouds. At a single glance, one could tell that their vast numbers were divided into different camps. Among them, the two major teaching forces lay in opposite directions: the Heavenly Mandate Academy and the Holy Land of Taichu from the Divine Prefecture. Both sides were looking across at their opponent's area. There was a tense atmosphere, making it feel like the whole area was under a great amount of pressure that made everyone below the Renhuang level's hearts beat without stopping. So many great figures that just their invisible auras were enough to make people below the Renhuang level feel nervous. The vast space gradually turned from noisy into quiet, as if everyone was stopping their discussions. As the aura grew stronger and stronger, it was not long before everything was silent. This strange silence made the area feel even more gloomy. The cultivators from the Holy Land of Taichu were still standing up in the air. The one at their head wore a white robe and had a magnificent aura. He swept his gaze over the Heavenly Mandate Academy, then said in a loud, clear voice, "The Holy Land of Taichu is the foremost holy land for teaching on the continent of the Divine Prefecture. We have trained countless disciples, with many top-level Renhuangs among them. Now that a path has been opened between the Void Realm and the Divine Prefecture, we wish to begin teaching here in the Void Realm. We will follow the order of Donghuang the Great and let the martial arts of the Void Realm flourish." His voice carried through the air, righteous and awe-inspiring. It made many people believe that what he was saying was true. But Lord Taishen Yi Futian and others sneered inwardly. If they really wanted to make the Void Realm's martial arts flourish, why come here and directly build another holy land? Doing this was for no other reason than to gain a foothold in the Void Realm, giving them the right to speak and establishing their power there. Of course, the continent of the Divine Prefecture and the Void Realm were all controlled by Donghuang the Great. Thus, the man's words seemed to be both correct and powerful. In fact, the Holy Land of Taichu was famous for its teachers. They had come here to teach the way, following the will of Donghuang the Great. In that case, there should be no objections. I have heard that the Heavenly Mandate Academy is teaching in the lower realms, acting as a holy land for the Heavenly Mandate Realm. Thus, we are willing to enter the Academy and take it over, in order to help them teach the Void Realm better, came that clear voice once again. Is the Academy willing to fulfill the will of Donghuang the Great along with us and join hands? Song Imperial City and some of the other forces that had come from the Divine Prefecture watched this scene silently. The words of the man speaking for the Holy Land of Taichu really were high-sounding. It was as if they really had come here to fulfill the will of Donghuang the Great. The Heavenly Mandate Academy has won the trust of the people of the Heavenly Mandate Realm. All the forces of the realm teach the way here, enriching everyone's martial arts. So there is no need for you to go to any trouble on our part. Moreover, you are not of this world, and you are not our people. Thus, to be completely open and aboveboard, you should find somewhere else in the 3,000 realms of the Great Path to gain your foothold, Lord Taishen directly retorted, his voice cold. I heard that you were once the master of Taishen Mountain in the higher heavens realm and that you are not from the Heavenly Mandate Realm. And yet you came here to take up the post of headmaster? Why is then are we the only ones that you doubt? Said the man from the Holy Land of Taichu. We came to your realm with open hearts and minds. We teach the way in the Divine Prefecture, so if we enter the Academy, won't that be extremely prestigious for you? The people of the Void Realm will be the ones to gain the greatest advantage from this. Why refuse? because your way of teaching the way is not worthy of the heavenly mandate realm. Lord Taishin did not say too much. He spoke directly and mockingly. Suddenly, the area grew quiet again. Then, the white-robed man smiled and said, "We are not worthy of teaching in the heavenly mandate realm?" "You are not," said Lord Taishin coldly. Their way of teaching was to let all the people of the world cultivate, whereas the holy land of Taichu was different. They had come here with a purpose, to force their way in. This deceitful move was clearly not worthy of the heavenly mandate realm. In that case, there is no need to speak further. The white-robed cultivator waved his hand, and a terrifying wave of chi swept out. He continued, "Since we are teachers of the way, we should test each other's strength, level, cultivation methods, and combat ability. Now, we will let the people of the void realm see who has the right to teach here." As he said this, he looked at someone beside him. The man stepped forward. As he did, his might swept through the sky. The clouds changed color, and terrible sword will flowed out, covering the sun. It seemed like there were countless swords above the crowd's heads. His body was suffused with brilliant light, and it looked like his body had become a sword. He gave off dazzling sword light. He seemed invincible. As the sword will flowed, countless people in Heavenly Mandate City looked up. They all felt their hearts tremble. The flowing sword will was incomparably sharp. It seemed like as soon as it fell, the whole city would be buried within it. At that moment, everyone felt a suffocating pressure. An upper-level Renhuang. Many of the Renhuang-level people there could feel the man's aura. He was simply too strong. The power of an upper-level Renhuang was absolutely terrifying. Lord Taishin stared at the man as well. He could feel the majesty of his wheel of the great path. As he watched, the sword will all around the man seemed to become solid, and now endless swords were swirling around him. The will of a great path of swordsmanship divine will filled him. There were 7 layers of wheels, making it a 7th-tier divine wheel. The swordsmanship divine wheels were incredibly brilliant and almost perfect. This man was very strong. To the side, the powerful figures of the divine palace and other forces all looked very solemn. "It's almost perfect. Only the 7th wheel is flawed," thought the great figure from the divine palace. This meant that all the divine wheels the man had forged when he was a lower-level and mid-level Renhuang were perfect. It was only when he reached the upper Renhuang plane that he had forged an imperfect, flawed wheel. There were 3 major levels for Renhuangs: lower level, mid-level, and upper level. But this was further divided into 9 tiers. On each tier, one could add a layer to one's divine wheel. Each of the major levels of the Renhuang plane was a test. When one became a Renhuang, if you were able to forge a perfect divine wheel, that implied that all of the wheels you forged at the lower level could be perfect. But when you broke through to the mid-level, you were tested again. Thus, in all the 3,000 realms of the Great Path, of all the cultivators of the great forces of the 9 supreme realms, the only ones with perfect divine wheels were Yi Futian and those few others. It was not that there had never been any, it was just that later flaws had appeared in their wheels. If one wanted to maintain a perfect divine wheel, one had to keep moving forward and getting stronger and stronger. This meant that becoming a Renhuang was but a single step, though it was a difficult enough starting point. Creating a perfect divine wheel at that point gave you a great opportunity, for if you started at a lower level, you would never have a chance to get up that high. At least in the 3,000 realms of the Great Path, such a thing had never happened. To go from an imperfect wheel to a perfect one required going against the laws of cultivation. Dou Zhao, Xiao Muyu, and others had cultivated with Yi Futian and thus had a high starting point. Thus, they had gambled the fates of their families by continuing to cultivate with Yi Futian. Anyone with a perfect divine wheel would hope at the very least to become a pillar of their force. If they stayed with Yi Futian, they would be creating a future. Thus, the Xiao clan and the others had stuck by him. At that moment, a cultivator with a nearly perfect divine wheel had come. There were few people in the Heavenly Mandate Academy or their allies who were at his level, who had maintained perfect divine wheels while they were lower and mid-level Renhuangs. Moreover, this man had been chosen to be the first one to step forth to fight. He must be a great warrior. It would probably be difficult to find someone to resist him. It had to be said that this was typical of the gap between the Void Realm and the Divine Prefecture. In terms of individual compatibility, they were no match for the Holy Land of Taichu. After all, they had come from a holy land in the Divine Prefecture. Lord Taishen did not care how weak or strong cultivators were. But since this was a competition of teaching ability, and all of the Heavenly Mandate realm was watching, he would naturally respond to his opponents by the most advantageous means possible. As you have said, the Holy Land of Taichu is a force from the Divine Prefecture, so obviously you have a much more illustrious background than us. We teach here in the Heavenly Mandate realm, and our names shake the 9 realms. One reason for that is due to our philosophies. This is why we have refused to let you enter the Heavenly Mandate Academy. The second reason is because of some of the aspiring members of the younger generation. They are the future of the Heavenly Mandate Academy. Since you have provoked us today, why don't you spar with these younger members? We don't need to compare members of every level, said Lord Taishen in a loud, clear voice. All the people in the vast area agreed. What Lord Taishen had said was true. The Heavenly Mandate Academy's fame was indeed due to these 2 reasons. They had been pressed by the Shun clan and yet had defeated them. They had not hesitated to fight for Yi Qingyao. They had done everything they could to train talented people, helping them forge perfect divine wheels. These things were all very attractive to cultivators. As for the second point, it would have been more precise to say that it was due to Yi Futian. The people had been able to obtain perfect divine wheels due to him. The swordsman swept his gaze over Lord Taishen and the other cultivators of the Heavenly Mandate Academy. Then the sword will in the sky dispersed. He stepped back and returned to the crowd, his mighty sword will disappearing into nothing. The white-robed cultivator smiled and said, "You are very forthright. You know that your teachers have no way to resist the Holy Land of Taichu, and thus you try to avoid a fight. I have heard that there is a group of people at the academy with perfect divine wheels. That is where your potential lies. In that case, let them come forth." Obviously, the Holy Land of Taichu had been prepared for this. They wanted to teach here and take over the Heavenly Mandate Academy, so how could they have failed to find this out? If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 1766 Overpowered. Chapter 1766 Overpowered. Lord Taishen stared at his opponent, intently. It seemed like the conflict today couldn't be avoided. The Heavenly Mandate City, as well as the entire 9 realms, was keeping a close eye on the situation. If the Holy Land of Taichu wanted to pick a fight, the Heavenly Mandate Academy couldn't chicken out. Lord Taishen turned around and looked at Yi Futian, who was standing close to him. Yi Futian had to make the decisions. Yi Futian and the disciples of the Heavenly Mandate Cottage represented the future of the Heavenly Mandate Academy. They were the cornerstone of the academy. The disciples of the Heavenly Mandate Cottage all developed perfect divine wheels. They were the only group of cultivators in the Heavenly Mandate Academy that stood a chance against the Holy Land of Taichu. The Heavenly Mandate Academy would certainly lose if they sent out junior cultivators in lower planes to clash with the challengers from the Holy Land of Taichu. Yi Futian had been standing quietly for a while. At this point, he glanced around and realized that people were all waiting to see his response. Several cultivators were eager to have a try already. With a determined face, Dou Zhao was on the edge of his seat. He had been asking to be sent to the front before his arrival, and Yi Futian gave him the nod. As might be expected, Dou Zhao couldn't wait to step up to the plate. "I will go." Another person spoke at this moment. It was Xiang Mang. Xiang Mang proved his path later than everyone else, and he hadn't had a real fight ever since that. This was a great opportunity for him to see how much the perfect divine will improved his capability. Yi Futian looked at the rest of the group and said, "Let Xiang Mang go." "Good," Xiang Mang nodded, then stepped out in a couple of strides. He became a demon emperor with a stately bearing and a domineering attitude after he proved his path. Dou Zhao was slightly irritated. He stared at Yi Futian, his eyes wide. "Have some patience," said Yi Futian. Xiang Meng proved his path much later and was less powerful than Dou Zhao. Although they both developed perfect divine wheels, there was still a gap between them. Xiang Meng was the successor to the divine elephants, while Dou Zhao was the most talented cultivator in the Dou tribe. The battle between Yu Sheng and Dou Zhao back in the days already demonstrated how strong Dou Zhao was. Yi Futian picked Xiang Meng for the opening exchange as a means to temper and strengthen him. This would be Xiang Meng's first fight since he proved his path. Such pressure could help bring out his latent potentials. Even if he lost, it could arouse his fighting spirit. Besides, Yi Futian could have a chance to catch a glimpse of the ability of the cultivators from the Holy Land of Taichu. In all honesty, Yi Futian wasn't too hopeful about this fight. He knew it was more likely for Xiang Meng to lose to the cultivator from the Holy Land of Taichu. But, with a deafening roar, the trumpets of an elephant were reverberating through the great path. Xiang Meng walked forward while glaring at the cultivators from the Holy Land of Taichu standing in the distance. Xiang Meng was bathed in divine golden light. The perfect divine wheel of the great path in his body burst and radiated brilliantly. The shadow of the gigantic divine elephant was faintly visible. The old man in white robe from the Holy Land of Taichu turned around and looked at the people standing behind him. His eyes fixed on one cultivator, who then stepped out. This man seemed quite young and was at the same cultivation level as Xiang Meng. The Holy Land of Taichu was supposed to be the best place for imparting knowledge in the entire divine prefecture. Unlike the Shun clan, they couldn't send out cultivators in significantly higher planes than their opponents from the Heavenly Mandate Academy. If they wanted to outshine the Heavenly Mandate Academy, or even supersede it altogether, they had to win an overwhelming victory in the battle against the cultivators from the Heavenly Mandate Academy. Only that could smooth the way for the Holy Land of Taichu and help them establish their presence in the Void Realm without too many twists and turns in the future. Therefore, they sent out an exceptionally powerful and talented cultivator for the first fight. He was one of the best in the Taichu sparring grounds of the Holy Land of Taichu. Although most people in the Renhuang Plain in the Divine Prefecture couldn't develop perfect divine wheels, some gifted cultivators from forces with a long history and rich heritage still had a decent chance of forging perfect divine wheels when they were proving their paths. The reason was simple. The Divine Prefecture had a vast territory and a sizable population. The cultivators selected by each force undoubtedly had tremendous talent. In addition, the top forces in the Divine Prefecture had more and better resources than the supreme forces in the Void Realm. Thus, there were several Renhuangs who had perfect divine wheels in each generation. Of course, to maintain a perfect divine wheel and advance to the higher level Renhuang plane was still extremely difficult even in the Divine Prefecture. Cultivators with such achievements truly were eminent masters. The swordsman from the Holy Land of Taichu walked out. He held a sword firmly in his hand. A terrifying storm of the great path surged around him while he was standing still. The storm cast a shadow over all heavens and swallowed the shadow of the divine elephant. His body became more and more indistinct. His shadows popped up in different directions then disappeared in the blink of an eye as if he was everywhere. But Xiang Meng stamped his foot in midair. The divine wheel in his body surged and formed a towering golden statue of the divine elephant in the sky behind him. The massive elephant trod on and crushed all heavens. The divine elephant stomping the sky, coupled with the divine elephant massive power and Xiang Meng's divine wheel, almost made the sky fall. The storm of the sword chi rampaged around them frantically as if it could reach anywhere. But, at the moment, the shadow of the swordsman in the Renhuang Plain from the Holy Land of Taichu appeared in different directions simultaneously. The sword will and the wind blended together and moved freely. It was as if they had become a whole. Blades of light shone brightly. Xiang Meng had an illusion that the space of great path he suppressed was cut into millions of pieces, yet he couldn't even detect the location of his opponent. Yi Futian watched the battlefield and thought Xiang Meng was about to lose. It seemed like that the Holy Land of Taichu specifically selected this Renhuang to hit back at Xiang Meng. Yi Futian had a devilish look in his eyes. Everything that happened on the battlefield was engraved in his head. He clearly saw that the attacks of the sword were real. The swordsman was moving so fast that he and the wind had become one. He could launch countless attacks in a second. Moreover, every attack was forceful enough to tear the space and sever Xiang Mang's connection with the Great Path. The link between Xiang Mang and the worldly Great Path was completely cut off by the sword will. Yi Futian had never seen such kind of technique before. The swordsman used his speed to detach Xiang Mang from the Great Path and fully surround him. But surges of the dreadful storm of the sword qi blew up around Xiang Mang's body and engulfed him. The Renhuang cultivator from the holy land of Taichu emerged from the storm. He twisted his hand and turned every wisp of wind in the storm into a sword right away. Countless swords charged at Xiang Mang and buried him in the endless storm of the swords in a flash. Xiang Mang roared in anger. The mighty shadow of the divine elephant stamped the sky, trying to charge out of the storm. The millions of swords jabbed on the giant body of the divine elephant and left innumerable marks. Xiang Mang's perfect divine will brought him remarkable defense capabilities. However, his divine will couldn't help him gain the upper hand in this fight since his opponent also had the perfect divine wheel. Therefore, the swords left marks on the shadow of the divine elephant. Each sword created a mark. Cracks started to become visible on the divine elephant when the damage was extensive enough. Xiang Mang let out a long and loud cry. Using the divine elephant void-splitting fist, he shattered the space around him with one punch. The giant divine elephant charged forward into the storm. Everyone in the heavenly mandate city looked up and saw the divine elephant was trapped in the horrifying storm, struggling. The darkening wall of clouds completely obliterated the sky. Right at this moment, a man appeared in the sky. It was the swordsman from the holy land of Taichu. He unleashed the divine wheel of swordsmanship. Millions of swords surrounded his body and rapidly rotated downward, eventually formed a deadly hurricane of divine sword. How frightening! Many people shook with fear. All of a sudden, the swordsman vanished. The crowd in the heavenly mandate city saw the hurricane of divine sword immediately moved onto the divine elephant. It was impossible to describe the power of the hurricane of divine sword. The force of 1,000,000 swords concentrated on one point, the tip of the hurricane of divine sword. It was the ultimate attack. Then, the cracks on the divine elephant spread like a spider's web. With a loud and clear trumpet of the elephant, Xiang Mang transformed into his original form. The golden divine elephant merged with the divine wheel and dashed against the hurricane of divine sword. The violent storm swept the space, and the divine elephant fell from the sky. The crowd of onlookers in the heavenly mandate city all hurried to get out of the way. The divine elephant smashed on the ground with a loud bang. Covered in blood, the divine elephant apparently suffered severe injuries. Meanwhile, the Renhuang from the holy land of Taichu was still hovering in the sky high above. Wisps of wind, as sharp as blades, surrounded his body. He floated in the air and looked out on the people in the heavenly mandate city, said, "Even though the cultivators in the Heavenly Mandate Academy developed the perfect divine wheels, their combat skills lack variety, and their capabilities are limited. This kind of education is bound to set people back and waste their talents and time." People in the Heavenly Mandate Academy didn't know how to respond. Xiang Mang, in the form of the divine elephant, raised his head and made every effort to stand up and return to the sky. He felt aggrieved and couldn't resign himself to failure. "Come back," Yi Futian said to him. The swordsman from the holy land of Taichu was right. The two sides were not on the same level. The swordsman applied a superior technique and completely overpowered Xiang Mang. Xiang Mang had been at a disadvantage since the beginning. Besides, the swordsman's attack was powerful enough to breach the most vigorous defense and eventually wounded Xiang Mang. Yi Futian had to admit that there was a significant gap between Xiang Mang and the swordsman from the holy land of Taichu. Xiang Mang would only be injured more if the fight went on. Xiang Mang was not ready to pull back when he heard Yi Futian's words, yet he still followed the instruction. People in the heavenly mandate city all sighed quietly. Even the cultivator who had the perfect divine will couldn't defeat the challenger from the holy land of Taichu. It seemed like the holy land of Taichu was going to overshadow the heavenly mandate academy after all. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.